Well, g'day Curd Nerds and welcome back. This is your Curd Nerd Journey, the show where the Curd Nerd community send in stories or their story on how they began to make cheese and present it to the world. It's absolutely fantastic. We've got a great story today. Today's story is from Michael Adamson, or you may better know him as Persnickety, who's always in the chat. Now, he may not be here today because he sent me a note saying he had to travel to work at the same time as the show was on, so he will be catching it on the replay. Now, before we get started, big shout out to all of the YouTube members and patrons. There's the list of all the YouTube members who are currently all paid up. Big g'day to Grimace Chaos, Lisa G, David Nelson, Robin Finesilver, John Miller, Jamie Harvey, and Kelly Gluyus. I think that's how you say it. I'm sorry, Kelly, if I've mucked that up. But thank you to everybody there. And of course, let's not forget the patrons, of course. A big shout out to all of the patrons there. In fact, there are quite a few people that I've noticed who are patrons as well as YouTube members. So big thank you for supporting on both of the membership sort of platforms. Now, if you're new here, don't forget that you can, if you do a super chat and ask a question, then the Curd Nerd light automatically goes off. Well, we hope so anyway. Let's say good day to a few people before we start the show. Big shout out to Shauna, who's the first person in the chat today. She loves Wednesday night, as I do, talking to the community here. A big shout out to Dan and to Eric and to Troy. Who else we got? Dramedy. We've also got Becky from South Africa. Hello, Becky. Also got Nina's just popped in. Hello, Nina. Lovely to see you. And Katarina. Hello, Katarina. Lovely to see you as well. Okay, so let's get on with the story, shall we? That's what we're here for. What time is it? Yeah, 2 minutes past. Why not? Okay, let me just set it all up. Okay, here we go. Onto the second monitor. And let's get his picture up. Let's get his mug up. Here we are. There we go. Alrighty. So, howdy Gav and fellow Curd Nerds. This is Michael or Persnickety, and I am currently 53 years old. My cheese path started whilst I was on furlough from August 2020 to August 2021. After job hunting each day, I'd watch YouTube videos to unwind in the evening. A random suggested video was this guy in his kitchen making cheese, teaching others how to make cheese in their kitchen. Something I had always seen as super complicated, Gavin broke it down into easy to understand visual instructions with explanations of the current process. I think it was in spring 2021, as by June I had already ordered the artisan cheese kit and press. Being a bit of a prepper, as I live in a Texas hurricane zone, it's important to know where you live and plan accordingly, and I am 15 miles from the Gulf of Mexico. I was interested in cheese which could last for years with proper storage or even during a power outage. In November 2021, the first attempt was Colby. Now, do I have a picture of the Colby? I think I do. No. That one? There we go. There's a Colby, a new one that he's made. I was going through a recipe textbook where the first steps build into more complicated steps, moving through softer cheeses and culminating in a washed curd hard cheese. Being male, I skipped to the end and made that one as being my first ever attempt at any definition of cheesemaking. All things considered, I'm still amazed that it came out as well as it did. Although the cheeses had yet to fully mature, by request I bought some of that Colby, my first pepper jack and an initial attempt at a chowder to the employee Christmas party. Those items were very well received and led to my first order requests. A higher paying opportunity came in January 2022, which allowed for the purchase of larger pots, moulds, and another fridge. The first few cheeses used the double boiler method, which was always tricky on an electric range. I prefer gas, but zoning regulations for apartments exist. Then I chanced on Gav's sous vide method. What started with pots for a 1 pound cheese turned into 2 pounds, 4 pounds, then up to 10 pounds with a dual 5.5 gallon or 20.8 litre stainless steel pots in a storage container bath, kept at around 4 pH. 4 pH? Unless crafting a special order, 2 pounds or 1 kilos, I'm using 9 gallons of store-bought milk each time, with an extra gallon if I'm making whey ricotta. At this point, 2.5 years in, though I am aware of how others view me, I'll start it again. At this point, 2.5 years in, though I am aware of how others view me highly, family and steady clients, I personally feel that I have become competent in semi-hard cheese making. I generally make 6 types for sale: chowder, jack, Colby, cheddar, farmhouse and parmesan style, with variations on those themes. Jack and farmhouse, being more neutral natively, give themselves generally to variations such as pepper jack, beer jack, red Windsor and garlic goat. With that all said, there's always so much more to learn in cheese making. Thank you, Gavin and the Curd Nerd community for this opportunity, and as always, stay fresh cheese bags. Give my best to Kim and the doggos. Curd Nerdly, persnickety. Now he's got some photos here. So the first photo, which we're not showing, here we are. There's the first photo there. Let's scroll in a bit. There we go, nice big picture. Is the second batch of cute little 2-pounders, a chowder on the left and a pepper jack on the right, and this was in January 2022. Very nice indeed. I like the colour on the pepper jack is just exceptional, persnickety. You've done a fantastic job there. The next one is the primary press. I've been here since May 2018, and it was only in 2023 I finally bought a kitchen table, hence the camping chair. Oh, okay. Righto. Fantastic. So that's the press that he's using to make all the cheeses. Next photo is Michael, or aka Persnickety, with parmesan pots. He's got 2 pots there behind. And you can see, can I scroll in there? Let me just get rid of that. Oops. You can see that he's got them in plastic tubs, and he's using precision cookers to heat the milk, as he mentioned. So, well done. Nice picture too, mate. I love the hairnet. The next picture is some blonde that he's making. This is in September 2023. And I think he's cracked it open since then. So it's a good-looking fermented whey. Very nice. I've still got half a bottle left, so I'm going to have to make some more soon. Which what I might do is, when I do make it, I might spice it up a little bit. Add a few more things into it, because it turned out really dry, like a bit like a Chardonnay when it was young. Anyway, moving right along. The next one is the best looking cheese to date. This is an 8-pound marbled cheddar from November 2023. I had all of it sold within a week. Hope you kept some for yourself, mate, but it's a great looking cheese. Can we get right in there? Nice. I like it a lot. Okay, the next one is the latest cheese that he's making is a Colby. It began as a 10.5 pound, now a 9.5 pound, expecting it to be 8.5 to 9 pounds by June. Is that the right one? No. That's the one we're talking about. That's his Colby there. So that's spectacular. It's a pity we haven't got a side-on view for reference, because that's, well, it started at 10.5 pounds. That's about 5 kilograms, or just under. So that is a very, very large cheese. And I love the marbling, the two different colours that you've done with two different batches of curds, one coloured, one not, with annatto, and you put them together and put them in your mould. Now, there was another photo. Where is it? So this is his prep station. So I missed this. Yeah, there we go. The workstation with 5.5 pound stainless steel pots, or is that 5.5 gallons? No, let's have a look. So 22 quarts or 20.7 litres. There you go. Absolutely. And he's got some honey in there. He's obviously going to make some more blonde with the whey, and he's making the honey runny. That's a good way to do it. Fantastic. Well done. And that's everything from Persnickety. Let's just go back there. Thank you very much to Michael for sending in your story. Let's put his face up there again. Thank you. Like I said, thank you, Michael, for sending those in, or Persnickety. A lovely little story there. Yeah, it's amazing. So many people during the pandemic started making cheese because they couldn't find anything to do. They wanted to find something to do, because so many people were either had to work from home or were told to take long service leave or what have you. But yeah, it's great that you took up the hobby, mate, and I'm proud to have you as a member of the Curd Nerd community. Thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate it. Okay, so it's only 12 minutes past now. Big call to action. So don't forget that if you're watching the show and you haven't sent in your story yet, you can do that by going to the channel and going to just here. So you go to, sorry, I'll do that again, where it says, do you want to become a curd nerd, love eating cheese, can't get enough, and then click on it. And then once you click on that, you can see the email address to send any story to with your photos, and that way we get the story and we can put up another episode. So currently, this is the last episode of your Curd Nerd journey. I know a lot of people watch the show after the fact, as it archived and not live, because it's not convenient for some people. In the Americas, that's for sure, the time zones are a bit funny, and people don't catch this live. But last episode, Herb's episode, over 950 people watched the episode. So surely somebody out there, whether you've been making cheese for a year or you've been making it for a couple of decades, I would love to hear your story and be able to read it out over on the channel during this show on Wednesday nights. Anyway, with that said, one thing I'd like to do is a big shout out to the Curd Nerds at the Long Paddock Cheese, which is in Castlemaine. They invited me back, like you would have seen on the weekend if you had have watched the live stream on Sunday morning or Saturday afternoon, wherever you are. You would have seen that I got an invitation to go to Long Paddock Cheese, and we had a tour and a degustation. Yeah, that's how they say it. And they invited me back on Tuesday, so yesterday, And I actually got my hands deep into the curds for two of the cheese makes. I help make some Bluestone, which is their version of Forme d'Ambert. I also helped make some, what do they call it? Silver Wattle, which is their version of a lactic acid set cheese like Saint-Marcelin. So that was great fun. So I really helped there. So and then I took my son Ben along and we did some filming. So I now have enough footage for 5 separate videos just at Long Paddock Cheese on all the awesome things they're doing there. I was just putting the finishing touches on the first the tour video so you can see what the facility's like, and then we'll get into some informative videos. There's even one where we made up a batch of culture which included the what do they call it? Oh, it's the rennet bag. So they had some dried what do they call it? KU. I think they call it KU. It's a French word for calf stomach. So it's dried calf stomach, and they put that into some whey that's been filtered and sanitized, along with a whole bunch of starter cultures, thermophilic starter cultures, and they're making the whey as the starter culture, and it will slightly coagulate the cheese. So they're doing it for 2 styles of cheeses. One is a Tom, an Alpine Tom, and the other one is it's a bit like a cross between a hybrid of Comté and Gruyere. So they call it, the first one's Banksia, the second one is Ironbark. And they were making that today. I couldn't go today because I had to work here at good old Little Green Workshop, sending out orders for cheese for curd nerds. So that was good fun. But I tell you what, it's going to be a great couple of weeks. There's so many informative videos. We're even testing the milk. They let me loose on the milk tester, so we had to figure out the fat to protein content of the batch of milk they were going to use today. I did that yesterday with a testing machine, which I've never used before, but it was so simple. What else do we do? So yeah, we made the calf rennet out of the stomach bag and culture. Yeah, so I made the blue cheese, and we made the lactic cheese as well. And I just missed. I got there at 8 o'clock in the morning, like they asked me to, but they had just finished doing the spruce bark wrapping on their Mont d'Or style cheese, the one with the spruce bark wrap around it. So it was a shame I missed that. I saw them and took some footage of them, but yeah, I didn't get to do it. So that was a bit unfortunate. So lots of that. Plus, Shauna gave me a recipe for Comté, and I've made that. I made that the day before we went away for my birthday, and I just finished salting it, the 5th salting. So that was good fun. So we made Comté, and I've got a video for that coming out soonish. It's in the cheese cave at the moment, or the cheese fridge. We've also got Triple Udder Blue coming up. I should show you. Hang on, I can do that. Where is it? Where is my cheese production board? Here we are. So Comté, we've made that. It doesn't look like that. It's a little bit shorter and not as fat. So Comté is we're editing at the moment. We've got Triple Udder Blue that'll be coming out soon, which is my own creation, blue cheese from 3 different types of milk, from cow's milk, water buffalo, and goat. So I'm hoping to get some blue in it. I use a different type of blue mold than I normally do. I normally use a strong Penicillium Roque 40. This time I used a milder version, which has a lot less acidification and is not as strong on the blue mold growth. So that should be a fantastic cheese. I've also got an Abors in the cheese fridge. Very soon to taste testing it. I think, in fact, it's this weekend I'll be doing the taste test on that. It's a bit like kefili. So it's very quick aging goat's cheese, and it's covered in a smoky paprika rub. So that'll be good fun. So watch out for those. And then, so that's, what's that, 5, 6, that's 8 videos that I'm currently editing. So there's a lot of content coming out soon. Plus we'll have the, in July, start of July, we'll have the goat's cheddar, which I made, that one there, goat's cheddar. There'll be the taste test for that. So that'll be good as well. Now, I am planning to remake Baby Swiss. I want to get some good eyes. Now, I've stumbled across a recipe in the book of the week, and the book of the week is Mastering Artisan Cheese Making by Gianna Caldwell. I've gone through her recipes and found one that looks very promising. And it includes pH in the various stages so I can get a decent cheese. So this is, the recipe she's using is called semi-hard to hard cheese with large eyes. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make that. And it calls for 15 litres of milk, which is good because my largest pot just fits in 15 litres. And I've got all the cultures and everything I need to do. So I'm thinking of, I purchased a mould that's a cheese basket that's slightly bigger as well. So hopefully I'm going to use that, and it'll turn out to be about that thick, but hopefully about that wide as the book. So if you wanted to get your hands on this book, I don't have this in stock in the store, but I do have an Amazon link down below. It says Gavin's Amazon store. There's a link to this book. I get a small commission if you buy it via Amazon, which would be greatly appreciated, and it supports the channel as well. Anyway, Mastering Artisan Cheese Making by Gianna Caldwell. It's not cheap, but it is a very, very good resource. And all her recipes have the relevant pH readings that you need for all of the steps. Is that going to stay there? There we go. Perfect. Now, I've learned over the last week or so, I have learnt so much about cheese making. It helps when professional cheesemakers kind of take you under their wing, which they have, and it's just fantastic, and have taught me so much, which I hope to be sharing with you in the videos that I'm going to produce from the footage that Ben and I took yesterday. We learned about the fat to protein ratio and why that's important in milk, how it can vary so much, how to make rennet with dried calf stomach. That was just an eye opener. Tell you what, the stuff stinks though. Oh, it really does smell. Anyway, that kind of wraps up all the stuff. I've just got so much footage, and I've just been. Last night my head was spinning on how do I break it all up, all the footage, and how do I categorize it, and what video should I make from it. And like I said, I managed to get 5 separate videos out of all the footage we captured. In fact, there was one I didn't mention, is we made butter as well, cultured butter. I wasn't there for the making part, but they showed me what they did. But I was there for the wrapping and packaging part, so got in there, got my hands dirty, and we packaged up some 250 gram rounds of cultured butter, and I tell you what, it's some of the best butter I've ever tasted, besides my own, of course. Cultured butter is just far superior than that stuff, the no-name home brand butter you can buy in small blocks. I tell you what, it's just so much nicer. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, perfect. So there's not much, unless people have got some questions, we can turn it into the the stream into a bit of a Ask the Cheese Man. So happy to take any questions on anything I've talked about, or if they've got any pressing questions about home cheese making they'd like me to answer. So I'll give you a few minutes to pop in something in there. That would be fantastic. Now, some of the feedback from Michael. Shauna said, awesome cheeses, persnickety. Indeed. And Eric has said, a nice cheese story. Indeed it was. It was lovely. And Eric also says, I don't have enough content as of yet. Eric, I know you're fairly new to the community, Eric, but it wouldn't matter. You know, if you've got a story that's worth telling, even if it's a 1 A4 page long, I don't mind reading it out. So, and you've got a few pictures of some cheeses, that would be fantastic, mate. But if not, that's fine too. Katarina says, thanks for the story. Thank you, Katarina. Becky says, thanks, Michael. All those look scrumptious. And you are reminding me to give my husband some whey to make some blonde with. Indeed, it is great. Davo says, a few more factory videos and you'll get a cheese and desist from Will Stud. No, I'm not going to steal Will's thunder. He does it really professionally. I'm a little bit, well, I'm not slapdash, but I'm as far as I was looking at the footage, and we didn't have a steady cam or anything like that for the camera. The audio is a little bit shaky. It was echoey. I managed to fix a fair bit of it, so I think it'll be passable. But yeah, no, not even close to compared to Cheese Slices videos by Will Stud. One day, it will be good. Anyway, Nina says, good work switching to a sous vide. It's a game changer. Indeed. I think a lot of curd, since I started using one, a lot of people did use it before I did. I kind of just stumbled across it myself. I was watching, what was it doing? I don't know, I saw a photo, I think, in one of the cheese making Facebook groups I was in, not sure which one. And they didn't have it in a sink, they just had it in a plastic thing, and I thought, well, I got a sink, will there be much heat loss? And I thought, well, there probably won't be. You know, when you wash dishes, your sink still stays pretty warm for quite a while, the sink water. So, you know, I decided to use my stainless steel sink, and the rest is history, and it's worked perfectly for me ever since. And I certainly, when I first put up the first video about precision cookers, or I called them a sous vide, this one person got really antsy. He was a chef from New York or something, and he told me that A, I would burn the motor out of the precision cooker in about a week, the way I was using it, and B, there was so much heat loss. There's going to be so much heat loss that the sous vide was going to just, I was going to wreck it. Anyway, and then C, it's not a sous vide. Sous vide is the process, and a precision cooker is what the tool is called. Anyway, after I promptly deleted the comments, I put the video up and everybody loved it. So, yeah, cool. Shauna says, I can't imagine going back to the double boiler method, and me neither, Shauna. In fact, at a pinch, if you haven't got the money for a precision cooker, then yeah, you could definitely use the double boiler method, which I've used for a long time in the past. But yeah, I couldn't imagine not using the precision cooker either. Eric says, any advice on making chowder? I bought some LPRA/Tech T Plus. So, advice on making chowder. Now, make sure you get the best possible milk you can, Eric. That's my first advice. Don't buy the crappy pasteurized, homogenized milk. And if you can, I'm not sure where you are. If you're in the northern hemisphere, it's starting to become summer. Avoid making howdah in the winter because a lot of dairies feed their cows on silage, which is a fermented grass, which contains butyric acid. Well, sorry, it contains a bacteria that causes butyric acid, which creates hydrogen and makes a big long fissure in low acid cheeses like howdah because you wash the curds. So if you're in summer, then and can get some pasteurized unhomogenized milk, which should be good, and it's a fairly safe bet that about now, what is it, May, late autumn in the northern hemisphere, late spring in the northern hemisphere, late autumn here, that the cows probably aren't fed on silage and you should be good to go. Yeah, so I have made howdahs in the past that haven't had late blown, but the LPRA or Tech T Plus or Wholeback LC is the other one. As long as it's got Lactobacillus lactis subspecies rhamnosus and Lactobacillus lactis subspecies plantarum, they're the two non-dairy lactic bacteria that are very useful in preventing late blowing, prevents some butyric acid from occurring, but it does work. So Eric has said, I have a great source of milk now. It only took 3 years. Fantastic. So if you can confirm with the farmer that the animals haven't been fed on silage, then you should be good to go with their milk. And like I said, if you use LPRA or Wholeback LC or Tech T Plus, then you won't have any issues with late blowing as well. They only put a tiniest amount of those preventative cultures in there. They are probiotics. They won't really ferment the milk. They will prevent other things from happening, and they do prevent a bit of mold as well. Okay, and you said this dairy farm never feeds silage, so perfect. So you'll have no issues whatsoever, Eric. Okay, if anybody has any other questions, pop them into the chat. But I thought I'd bring back the cheesy jokes. Everybody loves the cheesy jokes. Oh, before we do cheesy jokes, Becky has a question. Becky says, if skin slip is related to temperature and not infection, then can I eat it? It occurs to me that maybe I should throw out my skin-slipped camembert. It smelt fine, just looked odd. It is perfectly safe to eat, Becky. The skin slip is usually caused by a too high a temperature with the outside of the cheese rapidly proteolysizing, which is a breakdown of the proteins, which makes the paste gooey. So to a high temperature, then skin slip will occur. It can be prevented with a little bit of Geo. If you're using a little bit of Geotrichum candidum, then it'll be better. But just remember, once they're wrapped at about the 10-day mark, once they've got a nice coating of Penicillium candidum, then make sure they're wrapped in a cheese wrap and put them in the kitchen fridge at 4 degrees. That slows down the proteolysis and lipolysis, breakdown of the fats and proteins, and it slows down the gooiness of the cheese, and you tend not to get skin slip when it's at the 4 degrees. Just check as you go along, because remembering that it's a cheese or camembert, all cheeses are a living entity and they will continue to develop as they age. So check at about the 3.5 week mark of total ripening time to check whether it's starting to get soft. At 4 weeks, check it again, and you can do that just by pressing the center. You'll feel whether it's gooey or not. Some people like a little bit gooey on the outside and chalky on the inside. It's personal preference. So eat away. You'll get a little bit of gooey on the outside. It'll look funny. It's no big deal. So you can still get stuck into it, Becky. And congratulations on making some camembert. It's not easy. It's a big learning curve. Shauna has a question, camembert question. The centre is a little chalky and the outside is getting runny. Should I leave it to ripen without wrapping too long? Did I leave it to ripen without wrapping too long? Possibly. The centre will stay chalky, Shauna. What you can do is they should be wrapped now, right? So if they are, then all you have to do is just let them age a little bit longer, and that chalkiness in the centre goes away and they stay gooey. You don't want them to get to the stage where they're so runny at room temperature when you cut them open, they're just going to explode like a waterfall. You don't want that. Nobody wants that. So age a little bit longer at 4 degrees, which is just perfect for the finishing off the aging of the camembert. But yeah, you may have left it a little bit too long. 10 days is usually the max. And even if it hasn't got that, full white coating, if it's mainly coated in white, once you wrap it, you're going to get a little bit more white mold growing on the outside of the cheese, even if it's at 4 degrees. So, look, it'll be perfect. Don't leave them much longer than 10 days at between 10 and 13 degrees Celsius. Certainly no higher than 13, because you'll get a runaway proteolysis and it will be like liquid by the time you get around to eating it at the 4 weeks. But hope that helps, mate. Cool Cat says, hey there, Le Grand Fromage, the geese of the cheese. Gavin, kindest regards to everybody. Thank you, Cool Cat. Long time no see. And it's good to see that we've got, I think you're from the UK, so we've got the UK time zone working in our favour. It's early morning, I think, over there. Okay, Shauna, thank you. No, you're welcome, mate. No problems at all. Happy to help. Here's shall I let the cat out of the bag? There's a tip I didn't even know about. When your cheese, once you've matured it, and it's a little bit tacky, a bit too humid in wherever you were doing it, one way to dampen off that tackiness is to use, would you believe, corn flour. Yeah, corn flour in the cheese cave. And that absorbs any of the gooiness, and you just scrape the corn flour off and the cheese is perfect. The rind is just spot on. You'll see that in a video coming up soon. The very first long Paddock cheese video that I'll be releasing this week, I'll have it finished tomorrow. So members and patrons will get it at least 24 hours before I release it on Saturday. Will be the tour of the whole facility by a lovely guy called Gavin. He's French, and at start I found it a little bit difficult to understand his accent, but once I got the hang of it, no problems. It's just because I'm an Aussie, I suppose. But Gavin was a fantastic guy, so friendly. He's the marketing manager of the of Long Paddock Cheese, and he does a fantastic job there, flogging their product to all and sundry who didn't know how fantastic their cheeses are. I can't praise them enough. So they've been so helpful and so friendly. It's just lovely. It's just lovely to see that. And I've said this many times on the stream before. I've never met a cheesemaker that I didn't like. So, and it just goes to show that they're a lovely bunch of people. So it's not an ad. They didn't sponsor me or anything. They just invited me to have a look at their facilities. And Kim on my birthday, and then invited me back. And they're going to invite me back again, would you believe, to make some of their harder cheeses. So their cheddar, they've got a cloth banded cheddar that they make called Granite, and the Banksia, which is a Tom, and the Ironbark, which is like I said, a cross between a Comte and Gruyere. So that should be good fun. I'm really looking forward to going back and helping with the whole process, I think, is what I'll be doing. I've already made figured out how to make the starter culture for the day before for those hard cheeses. Yeah, so that should be good fun. Anyway, jokes. We're going to do some jokes, shall we? Shall we? Why not? Okay. Okay, so which cheese cries the most? Anyone? Beulah? Baby Bell. Right, there we go. Baby Bell. Frickin' hilarious. Right, the next joke. Oh yeah, this is just, they're all dad jokes, right? So just imagine me as a dad. Well, I am a dad, but anyway, here we go. Why can't Swiss cheese be part of a fat-free diet? Because it's made of whole milk. Get it? Holes in the Swiss cheese. Yep, that is a dad joke. Right, next one. What kind of cheese does Medusa eat? Gorgonzola. Right. Very nice. Gorgonzola. Oh, goodness me. No, I don't like that one. Right, here we go. Here we go. I saw a crocodile the other day, but thankfully it only eats cheese. It's an alligator. Yep. I said they were lame. Anyway, one last joke before we finish. Before we finish. What kind of cheese do you use to attract a bear? A camembert. There we go. So, you can use them. There we go. They're copyright-free jokes. You can use them wherever you want. I don't mind. Thank you so much for watching today. If you haven't got around to making cheese yet and you want to learn in a structured manner, you could do no worse than popping over to the Curd Nerd Academy at courses.littlegreenworkshops.com.au. I have 2 cheese making courses there, a beginner's and a blue cheese course. And one day I'll get around to making the other 3 courses that I want to make, which is hard Italian cheeses. I want to do a course on that one. And I'm halfway through making white mold cheese course. And I want to do a washed rind cheese course. I've done about 6 or 7 different washed rind cheeses. So I'd love to be able to present that as a course as well. And as Eric was saying, don't forget that you can go over to merch.cheeseman.tv, pick up some wonderful t-shirts and mugs and the like, and all proceeds go to the channel, to keeping it on the air. Anyway, thanks for watching, Curd Nerds. I will see you again on Sunday. I've got to schedule that one. I haven't done it yet. But yeah, as Shauna has said, night all, we will see you on Sunday. And before then, I will have the tour video up, the factory tour of Long Paddock cheese. So that should be good fun and very, very informative. I was just blown away by their facilities and how it compares to home cheese making. So watch out for that. What I will do just before I go, I'm going to drop some free memberships into the chat. So if you're not a member and you want to pick it up, then yeah, pick up a membership there. Okay, thanks everybody for having a fantastic for watching, and have a fantastic week, and I'll see you on Sunday or Saturday morning, whatever it is your time zone. All right, thanks for watching, Curd Nerds. See you next time.